Hello everybody, I'm Lyle. Welcome back to Sustainable Jungle, where we share sustainability tips, tricks, hacks, products, brands, and stories to better our planet. Let's talk about what is compostable, as in what you can actually put in your compost. I've previously done a deep dive into the difference between something that is compostable and something that is biodegradable. It's a very important distinction, not only when it comes to understanding what you can and can't actually put in your compost bin, heap, pile, whatever, but also about what it means in relation to product marketing, i.e. something that is marketed as compostable is very different to something that is marketed as biodegradable. I'll pop a link below to that video in case you wanted the lowdown on that exciting topic. But for this video, let's get practical, okay? Like, what actual food scraps, consumables, textiles, packaging, etc. can you actually put in your compost bin versus what you shouldn't put in your compost bin? That is what will contaminate your compost bin or just take forever to compost in your compost bin, in which case it's not really compostable, at least at home. Which actually brings me to my next distinction. In this world, the compost world, you're either an at-home composter or you're an industrial composter. That is, you're lucky enough to have a council that sends around a truck to pick up all your organic matter, so all you have to do is basically collect it and put it on the sidewalk. Now, I'm going to specifically talk to the at-home composters among us because it's a little bit more nuanced. If you're an industrial composter, the rules are very different. Of course, it all depends on what the council accepts and defines as compostable, but typically because their industrial composting conditions reach a much higher temperature, they're able to accept a wider range of organic matter like meat, bones, and bioplastics. But again, just check what their guidelines are before you start throwing all organic matter their way. So what is compostable is, or can be, depending on the context, a complicated question, of course. But for the sake of at-home composting, it really just means anything that can completely break down into its natural elements without leaving toxic residue in a relatively short period of time. What are the natural elements? Carbon dioxide as a byproduct of the natural carbon cycle, water or moisture that's released during the breakdown process, and the nutrient-rich material known as humus. And what is a relatively short period of time? Well, for me, that really kind of just depends on your setup and what you want. If you're happy to compost onion skins and orange peels, for example, it's going to throw off your pH balance and make the whole decomposition process take longer, but then by all means, if that's what you want. But if you want an efficient breakdown, then sticking to certain types of organic matter will keep the cycle around 12 weeks, give or take, because everyone's composting solution is different. Without further ado, let's break down what you can break down in a timely manner. Now, compostable waste can essentially be split into two categories, and both are necessary for a successful compost pile, and it speeds up the biodegradation if you alternate these in thin layers. There's green, which is nitrogen-rich materials like grass clippings, spent coffee grounds, vegetable scraps. You can think of these as wet materials, and they help maintain a level of moisture, and they also break down fairly quickly. On the other hand, you have brown. Now, these are carbon-rich materials like paper, cardboard, prunings, dead plant matter, other yard scraps, and they provide aeration and structure to the compost pile, but they break down slowly, so it's best to chop them into smaller pieces. Okay, let's start with everyone's favorite room, the kitchen. Now, a great rule of thumb you can apply here is to, and I'm stealing this quote from the University of Georgia, if it can be eaten or grown, it can be composted. Grown in a field, that is, grown in a field. Examples of green kitchen materials include fruit and vegetable scraps, think potato skins, broccoli stalks, apple cores, soggy lettuce, corn husks. I've actually got one of those here. Non-acidic fruit peels like banana peels is one of those. Avocado skins, melon rinds, they're okay, but avoid too many grapefruit, orange, lime, and lemon peels. Citrus fruits, as I said, can make your compost overly acidic and kill your wounds if you are vermi composting. Fruit pits also, you can soak them in boiling water and blend them to speed up the decomposition process. Coffee grounds also great. Tea leaves and natural paper tea bags. Just be careful though, as a lot of those have plastic in them. Expired jams and other preserved food, tofu, condiments like mustard, ketchup, pasta sauce, and moldy cheese. As for brown kitchen materials, stale bread, tortilla shells, leftover pizza crust, stale cereal, oatmeal, granola bars, crackers, cookies, pretzels, pasta, but try not to overdo cooked pasta and cooked rice because there may be too much moisture and that creates odor problems. Also grape and other fruit stems. Nutshells like these, they do take a little longer than other items to break down, but they're fine. Walnut shells I'd leave out though. Popcorn, leftover, unpopped or burnt. Eggshells, if you just rinse them, make sure they're crushed. That'll speed up the decomposition. Cardboard egg containers are a really good one. Unbleached coffee filters, red wine corks, chopped into relatively small bits too. Brown paper little bags like this. Paper lunch sacks, cardboard food and takeout boxes. Use paper napkins, paper towels, wooden chopsticks, bamboo skewers and cutlery, cupcake and muffin wrapper papers, waxy, without the waxy linings, non-coated paper towels, cardboard pizza boxes, I think I said that. There's a lot in the kitchen, but it actually doesn't take that long to get a handle on what's in and what's out. The bathroom is another good source of brown compostable materials. Think natural personal care items like bamboo toothbrushes. You just want to make sure to remove these bristles, and silk or plant-based dental floss, along with real cut up loofahs, not the synthetic ones. Also, deodorant sticks in compostable cardboard tubes. Paper products like shredded paper, toilet paper rolls from eco-friendly sources, cardboard packaging from other personal care products like this. Cotton balls and swabs with cardboard sticks are compostable, but they have to be 100% cotton. Fingernail clippings, human hair, razor trimmings are unusual, but also effective brown materials. And of course, textiles like old 100% cotton towels and washcloths, those can absolutely be added to your compost, provided they haven't been treated with synthetic chemicals, and of course just make sure you cut them up. And since a lot of us are still working from home, the home office has its own source of organics like plantable pencils, paper materials, newspaper, bills, plain junk mail, non-glossy documents, magazine subscription cards, excluding the glossy pages. They're all compostable when shredded or torn into small little pieces. Envelopes and both corrugated and plain cardboard boxes. Just be sure to remove the little plastic windows. Office stationery, sticky notes, pencil shavings. And what about pets and animals? Well, the composting process unfortunately can't help with abundance of pet waste from, say, our feline carnivores and waggy omnivores unless you have a specific and separate composting solution for that. It can turn some pet products into soil supporting compost. For example, manure from non-carnivorous animals like horses, goats, cows, sheep and chickens, as well as some pet waste like bird droppings and manure from rabbits, gerbils and hamsters. They're good green compost materials. Dry, eco-friendly dog and cat food, along with fish or rodent pellets, those can be composted as brown materials. There's also animal fur and feathers and rodent pet bedding made from materials like sawdust. They're good carbon content. Also think about pet accessories like bamboo, cotton, or hemp, toys, collars, and beds made from natural fibers or organic materials, cage liners, like for example, newspapers. Finally, there are a few compostable things that didn't fit into the above categories, so this is just a bit of a catch-all. Natural fabrics, think stained or worn out clothes made from 100% natural fabrics like cotton, linen, wool, cashmere, silk, they're all compostable. Natural potpourri made from dried flowers, household dust and dirt, spent matches, unwaxed organic string, thread, twine, yarn, non-glossy price tags and packaging, trash bags labeled as home compostable, of course mixed with other compostable materials. And that is it. Of course it goes without saying, but this list is definitely not exhaustive. It's just the highlights. If you're an at-home composter, power to you. I hope you got some compostable ideas out of this video. I'll of course add links to all the resources I mentioned below and the specific deep dive on this topic we've covered before. And I would love to know from you, what uncommon items are you successfully composting at home? Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, all the buttons if sustainable living is your thing. I'm Lyle from Sustainable Jungle, and much composting love.